Hello, Instagram. 3 things that will skyrocket your personal brand success. And this is the thing. Building a personal brand is a long-term game, but there is things that you can do to actually make it faster when you are very intentional with the actions you take within your business to grow your authority and to truly make this faster so you can be seen as an authority faster than you ever thought. So I am going to break them down for you because I see people constantly kind of like spinning the wheels when it comes to building their personal brand. So we're going to get started right away. So number one, you need to know, just like with everything in life, what do you want to achieve? And I want to paint this picture for you because I've been thinking about this this weekend as I was working with a client in Colorado. Now she owns a product-based business. Now her goal is to bring more partners into her website, position herself as an authority on the CBD world. And her absolute goal is to actually bring to lawmakers the opportunity where they can actually write prescriptions for CBD products in lieu of benzos and stuff like that. Now, why is this important for you to understand? Because in her case, her goal is different than if you are a service provider. Now, in both cases, is the fastest way for you to get your goal is to truly build your personal brand. What we're talking about here is building your authority so people see you as the person they come to when they need help with whatever it is that you offer, right? Whatever it is that you solve. What is the problem that you solve? Now, why is so important that you have this goal written down is because if not, you're going to be throwing spaghetti at the wall and your efforts are going to be diluted. So for example, I wrote a few things in here, right? So if you're a service provider, is very, very different if you are building a personal brand to bring different opportunities. So another example is if you're a service provider, this goes directly with you making sales and you having an offer, okay? Now, why is this important for you to know? Is because if you don't know this different, you are going to be putting content and doing all these videos and doing all the things and you don't even know where you're going, okay? So an example of this is I actually have a friend of mine. She has 62,000 followers on Instagram. You know how much she's making out of it? 0. Because she started her personal brand, she started going live, she started running events, she started doing all the things. She didn't have an offer. She does not want to be an event planner. So even though she's running events and these events are quite profitable, she's like, that's not what I want to do. Like my passion is in community. Now, a lot of the people, including myself, that go to her events and speak, we are monetizing from her events. But because she doesn't have an offer, it doesn't matter how strong her personal brand is because her definition of success for her personal brand doesn't align with what she truly want to do, which is eventually leave her job. So I want you to understand this. You need to know what you want to achieve with you building this personal brand. Now, one more thing. These are the 3 categories that I see people building personal brands on. One is service providers, business owners from a product business that they want to elevate their own personal brand as opposed to just the product that they offer in order to speak and stuff like that. Number 2. How do you want to monetize your brand? And this is so crucial. again, this comes back to your goal. If you are a service provider, most likely you are monetizing your brand by offering X product. So an example of this, I have several therapists inside of the View Brand Academy, and the majority of them, the reason why they want to grow their personal brand is because they are capped. Now they're making a ton of money, but they're capped. They cannot make any more because they cannot take any clients. So what they are actually trying to achieve is create an offer, right, that serves one to many. So one, that's you, too many. They can serve more people in an hour, more people in 2 hours, whatever it is. Now, you can monetize your personal brand in a lot of different ways. You can start a podcast, you can start a product, you can add new services, you can do affiliate. Again, you can also monetize the relationships for credibility. So I'm taking you back to the example of my client, right? That she already has a product. She has a website. Now that is monetizing, but her goal is to change policies, to work with lawmakers. She also has a nonprofit. So by her positioning herself as this woman of influence in the CBD and cannabis and I don't want to butcher this. It's, in her particular case, is medicinal cannabis, right? As she positions herself as this elevated personality, that's going to bring opportunities not only to her product, to her website, to her marketplace. It's going to bring opportunities to her nonprofit. It's going to bring opportunities for her to speak, and eventually for her to be able to talk with lawmakers to work into this vision that she has. Now, for you, what does this mean? What does this personal brand actually is going to mean, right? Because if not, you're going to be showing up on social media talking about what's important to you and not achieving anything. And I'm going to tell you, I see these from so many people, because what they're doing is like, they hear from people, right? I have to be on social media. I have to be on social media. Now, again, if you are a service provider, you're a realtor, a loan officer, a therapist, a bookkeeper, a CPA, you are going to create, and your goal is to position yourself as an authority, right? If your idea is, if you're incorporate and you're trying to build your personal brand, this may be for you to get to the next level inside of your company. Okay, so these are all different scenarios of you building a personal brand, and we would build it a little bit different. Okay, we will build it with the goal in mind, because it's not the same. When people are telling you build a personal brand on Instagram, the truth is, are your goals aligned with you actually building a brand on Instagram, right? Are your people actually on Instagram? So number 3 out of these is actually picking your channels, because people tell you have to be omnipresent, you have to be everywhere, and that is not necessarily true. You do not necessarily need to be on every platform. It all goes back to your goals, because you don't want to be barking at the wrong tree, right? So you want to make sure that you start with one platform, you nail your messaging, you polish that message, and then you figure it out what other platforms are appropriate for your business, for your message, for your client. Now, and this one is huge, because what I see a lot of people doing, and I see these a lot with people like, oh my God, I just need to be on social media. They come to Instagram, they go to LinkedIn, they go to Facebook, and they post the same content everywhere, but they're not working the platform, right? You're not here. Like in my case, my main platform is Instagram. This is where a lot of my clients are. 90% of my income comes from here, from relationships, conversations, DMs, posts, stories that I do here on Instagram. Now, what you need to understand is, in order for you to be on the right platform, it all comes down to who your ideal client is and where they're hanging out. Are they hanging out on Instagram? Are they hanging out on LinkedIn? Maybe they're both, right? And you can do both. However, not every platform is created equal. And no matter where you're at, you still want to be working the platform, which is you have to be intentional about how that particular platform works in order for you to understand how people are either buying or consuming its content. Now, number 4, I actually say 3, but then when I was writing my notes, I was like, oh, there is one more. You also want to really say, okay, what am I willing to invest into this personal brand? Because this is the thing. People can find you on Instagram or LinkedIn and buy from you right away because you're speaking to their heart. However, you building a personal brand is going to take time. There is no way around it, because you building your brand is about you creating trust and credibility with people that need what you have to offer. So for example, one of the things that you need to decide is how much are you willing to invest. So for example, if you invest on my academy, you know that you are there so for a year, right? If you decide to start a podcast, how much are you willing to invest? Time, money, effort. Because at the end of the day, in order for people to see you credible as an authority, is going to take time. And I think one of the things that people don't understand is they think they're going to show up on social media, make really 5 social media posts, and they're going to explode. And this is one of the things that you need to rein back, right? And really do a reality check with yourself. Because if you're not willing to invest the time, you're not going to get there. So that goal that you had on the first place, right, of like, what is the reason you're building a personal brand? When in most of my clients is actually building a successful business, you need to put time and effort and thought leadership. This is not just about posting for posting. So there is so many layers, right, of building that personal brand, and you have to show up the in and the out, the in and the out. I'm going to tell a little story before I let you go, which is I was on the DMs, I think it was during the weekend, and I was just on my personal kind of like scrolling. And somebody sent me a DM and he's like, you know what? I actually got on Instagram just to see what you were doing because I'm pivoting my business. She used to be a photography client of mine, and now she is going to grad school for mental health. And she's like, I'm pivoting my business. I'm starting something completely different, and I really need your help branding me. Well, this is the thing. This person used to be my client years ago. I have been talking about personal branding and teaching personal branding for years. So when you show up for a month and you're telling yourself things are not working, I want you to ask yourself, aren't they really working? Or I haven't really put enough time into it. Now, things can happen fast. Again, I want you to understand this. But the big result, the massive results, you scaling your business, you being actually reached out to for what you do, being remembered for what you do, when people actually need you, that is what takes time. Because I'm going to actually throw another number at you. There is about 3% of your audience that is ready to buy right away. Right? They're ready. They're hot. They're ready. They have the problem that you actually solve for them. But there is another 97% that not only is not necessarily seeing your content all the time because of the algorithm, and they're not ready to purchase right now. Now, they have the problem. They may not be aware. They have the pain that you, whatever, like I know Ashley here, for example, like she does weight loss. My client here, Jamie, she's a garden coach. People may be thinking about it. They're interested, but they are not ready to pull the gun. That happens to me all the time, right? People may come to our boot camps, they might see us on social media, and they're like, oh my God, I know I need to build a personal brand. I've been wanting to do that forever. It may not be the right time. The question is, are you going to still be going at it when it is the right time for every person in your audience that you are educating, that you are pouring your content in, that you are sharing your thought leadership with? And I think that this is a part with everything, with business and building your personal brand, because personal branding is a business strategy, right? And if all you're doing is changing all the time and you're not giving it time, all you're doing is self-sabotaging. So I'm going to recap this for you. If you just jump on here, I would love for you to drop a comment so Instagram shows this to more people, to more women that actually need to listen to this message. But these are 3 shortcuts to actually grow your personal brand for success. I actually threw a 4th one, but I think is number 1 is start with the goal in mind. Go back, listen. This is like a different take on personal branding depending of what type of business or personality you are. Number 2 is, how do you actually want to monetize your brand? Because if you don't know this, you're going to be spinning your wheels. You're going to be putting all this content out there. We're going to create your brand story, your brand pillars, all of these, but they need to go hand in hand with what is your mission, what is your vision, where you're going, and what is the avenue for you to actually make money with this personal brand, this credibility, this authority that we are building through building your personal brand. And number 3 is picking the right channels. And this comes back to your marketing, okay? Your channel can be Instagram, like mine. It can be LinkedIn. It could be live events. It could be YouTube. It could be a podcast. All these different things that you have options in order, how are you going to bring your message to the world? So if you didn't jump on and you just saw it, I would love for you to go back, take notes, and let me know, like, what do you want to achieve with your personal brand? How do you want to monetize it? What would be your dream? Now, again, this is a thing. When you create your credibility and your trustability, you can monetize in many, many, many ways. An example of that would be, I use my podcast as a channel, but eventually I would love to have sponsors on my podcast. So do you see how like stuff starts coming together? And the 4th tip that was not a shortcut is, you want to make sure that you are sticking the course and you're deciding how much time, how much money are you willing to invest to actually grow your personal brand. So if you are ready, my friend, what I'm going to tell you is we have the Ultimate Personal Branding Bootcamp. It's happening next week inside of a private Facebook group. This is a pop-up. If you are in my Facebook group, this is happening somewhere else. Come in Bootcamp and I will send you everything for you to register. It's $33, 5 days live with me. So if you have been wanting to coach with me for a while, this is a way for you to have a taster of what it is to build your personal brand with me. I hope you have an amazing day and I'll talk to you soon.